Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to this live build. Going to be building one of these right here. This is basically an SMT24, but it's a tiny Titan chassis from Southwest Monster Shop using the SCX24 platform to build from. And so we're going to be doing a fresh build. This was my original one, but I just got in the mail today a Furitek Rocketman transmission and motor. The Godzilla motor comes already installed just like this in the box. You can see it's running the 15-tooth pinion in it. I talked with them after getting my test one and said, this needs the bigger pinion out of the box. It can't do the 12. It's not going to be fast enough. So they went and made the changeover, and they're shipping with 15-tooth pinions. So that's awesome. I had to basically order one for mine. Metal gears in there, you can hear it clicking. So we're gonna do a quick build, try and I have basically a donor car right here. I'm gonna try and do a quick build of this, build the chassis, strip the guts out of this, stick them over, try and keep it as inexpensive of a swap as we can, not doing any axle work to it, leaving stock axles. Southwest Monster Shop wheels here. I'm gonna need to just steal, I think, some tires for now to stick on here. I've got a couple of other monster trucks around here I can steal from, and then we'll do the Furitek Lizard Pro ESC, and here's the chassis that I got in and ready to build. So basically we're gonna go for it. I do want to mention I'm gonna be making these crush cars for them. Where'd my truck go? They're actually a really good size for this, and yeah, pretty cool. Pre-crushed, made a mold for it. In fact, the mold's sitting right here. Thought maybe it'd show a little more detail. Whoa, it's blowing out like crazy. Hold on, I can fix that with my cam settings here. Give me 1 second. And turn down the brightness. Oh, that's not helping. That's what we needed. So yeah, that's my mold. I'm gonna be doing a little standing because I used tape on it to get some of these crinkles and stuff because the hammer on the metal wasn't really making a lot. It was just kind of crushing, and I wanted a little bit more dense. So yeah, that's what we went for. But yeah. So I'll be selling some of these bodies like this, the Lexan, and yeah, I got to work out pricing. It depends how many of these I can do at a time and all of that. So that's to come. I'll show that again later in case people come in later. But yeah, this was actually one of my not so good ones. I had tape all the way around the outside too as I was doing it so that it wouldn't suck under it. This one actually has the wheels, but I actually in my crushing broke one of the wheels, so this got really loose. So this is just a dummy for me to mess around with. But my mold ones don't have that, and that's going to be pulling from all the rest of them. So yeah. What's going on, guys? Got people jumping in here. Jeff Brown, Cycle 13 Garage, CSL RC, Lauren, One Stop RC. What's going on, guys? Tim Vanison. So yeah, I'm going to turn this down here. We'll keep chatting in that, and I'm going to get to work on it. I'll also be recording a video that'll show it in a much more cut down time frame than this live stream. So people that want a quick video, I'm going to try and do that as well. So we're going to get things set up here, adjust my lighting as needed. Seems a little bright. Which light is that? That's too bright. Is it this one? There we go. That'll do. That's better. I'll try to keep up and keep looking up as we go. How's it going, Jeff? Pete, make it happen. So the first thing we got to do is we're going to take this SCX24 out of here. All right. I'm going to try to use the electronics as far as the receiver in that goes from this. I guess we don't have to tilt down yet, but yeah. Got lots of SCX24 builds coming. So that's something to note. I've got a Mofo RC rock crawler chassis I'm going to be working on. All kinds of stuff. Man, this is not wanting to stay. That's going to move. How's it going, James? So the controller's in here. I'll worry about all that stuff later. We just want to get this guy out of here. And maybe I need to leave it tilted up a little. Seems like most of the stuff's out in the shop so far. There we go. You guys can look at my belly. There it is. So what we're going to work from, we don't need a lot of this stuff. I do need these body posts for my other trucks. I lose them like crazy. Battery's good. We want the battery. We're going to need this battery tray. I think we need the electronics tray, so I'm going to leave that intact and just start pulling wires from things that we're not going to necessarily use. I might actually use the body posts on this one. Whatever body I use, maybe we'll use this body as our truck body. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm just going to start disassembling and getting things to where we need them to be. Matt Harris, how's it going, James? Yeah, another custom build, CJ. It's very similar. I'm just trying to do this one a little cheaper and not all the metal parts that I was doing on the other ones. So we are doing the Furitek Godzilla and Rocketman transmission, which is nice because it's just going to drop in there. It's super easy to drop in. I do have some other tests I'm going to be doing. I think I'm going to do it in the Mofo RC chassis because it's got that big opening on the side. And I'm going to try a Rocketman motor, or not a Rocketman, a Surpass Rocket motor in that. See if it's actually faster than this. Because this really, guys, needs a 3S battery to have the speed that I want from it to do flips and tricks. So that's just something to note. I think they're going to try and come out with a 7,000 kV version of the motor as well. And if you get this combo, which is the way to do it, it's not that much more to just buy a motor. It seems like most of these motors aren't too bad on price. So look at the price of the Godzilla on its own. I think it's like 35 bucks or something. So upgrading it at a later point will be good. Or if you're watching this at a later point and they have a the motor already available, then you're in luck. Let's see here. I think I need more brightness now. There we go. ECB had comments regarding that Godzilla in the deadbolt. It'd be pretty cool in a deadbolt, like a rock bouncer. That'd be pretty cool. So I'm just putting the wheel nuts back on as I'm going along, just so I don't lose anything. Because we're basically going to drop this all out, which is pretty simple to do. I'm just doing it all with hand tools this time because I don't really need, these things come out so fast that I don't really need a screwdriver, a fast one. I won't be using stock shocks. That is an upgrade I'm going to do. I have one set right now of the Hot Racing shocks. I have a set of the Mofo RC ones, but those are going into a crawler build, so I'm not going to steal those. But I have these ones that I'm going to use right here, these Tele Shocks. So that's another 35 bucks. So if you add up the price of them, starting with the truck, somebody start writing this down, and we'll put it in the chat. Somebody that's good at math or can write it down so we can do an addition problem. 135 bucks for the C10 or Jeep. That's one cost. I think it's about $120 shipped for this chassis and wheel set together is about 120 bucks plus tires. So you're looking at 150 there. So now I guess we're at 285. 35 bucks for the shock, so you're like 310, and then the motor stuff. I think the transmission and motor together is 100, and then the ESC, if you get the Pro, is like 70. So it's another 170. So you're looking at like almost $500 to do this, what we're going to be doing today. We're looking at some other options for even the motors and stuff. Technically, you could just do the mount and the motor and not do the transmission if you want to save some money, but yeah. What's going on, Roger? I saw your comment earlier on the podcast. Good to hear from you again, man. Team Effort put a 540 in his SCX24. Wow. That's impressive. Not going to lie. It doesn't fit without rubbing. Yeah, it hits the drive shaft. I pointed that out in my video. It doesn't hit bad though. I wouldn't worry about it. If people are trying to come up with complaints about it, I don't think it's a big deal. And potentially if we turn it the other way, it wouldn't rub. But in the reverse way, because the links are so long, it does hit because it has more travel upward. And so the more it has travel, the more it's going to hit. So that's part of it. But we're really compressing these shocks a ton too. And if you're doing it with these standard shocks, like in a deadbolt, you probably really have rubbage. But with the longer Tele Shocks, it's not a big deal. Not to me. Maybe to somebody else. I think it works pretty wicked. And to me, it's like just enough speed. While I'm doing this, I guess I could talk with you guys because I'm just removing screws right now. But yeah, I'm just going to be removing a few of these screws here, taking all this out, and we'll build the other thing and stick it in. But yeah, I got it right here. I showed on this. There's a little wear mark on this right there. Barely see it, just a little where it changes the coloration. Under full compression, it hits the drive shaft. But that would be like on a landing and different things. But I don't find it to be too bad. And I don't know that if we turned it around to the front, that it would still do it based on flipping where that would put that. Because you're already hitting compression and other things before I think the drive shaft would actually hit, because the drive shaft goes higher in the rear. So if you flip it forward, you might be all right. You can see the difference in the compression. And look at my eyeball through there. That's weird. But yeah, I don't think it's problematic. I do think that these motors here are going to be a good bet. And that's why I say I'm testing them. I just want to figure out the heat issue with them. So this is 7,500 kV, and I can show it probably really good here. I'm going to put that other motor here. I hit that mouse with my elbow. I didn't mean to put that up, but it doesn't matter that it's up. Thanks for asking for likes. It's a lot smaller motor. So let me show this camera. Much smaller motor here. I think it'll do good. It'll definitely have some speed. And I have a faster one. Orange one? Yeah, here. I've bought so much stuff to test for you guys. I mean, I got a case of stuff here that's unreal. This one is 9,500 kV, same size, different color, faster. I just wonder how hot it will get. I do have the Mofo RC Surpass Rocket motor mount, and I have the pinions and stuff for it. The only thing is that it's a side mount, and you either have to cut your chassis here to get it in, which I've seen people doing. I don't want to do that. Not with these carbon fiber ones. But the Mofo RC one has a big opening on the side. I have one of them. Here we go. I have the chassis here, and he's making these out of carbon fiber now too. He's got a big opening on the side here so that it would kind of tuck out of there when it's mounted in. It would have room to sit in here. So I have the momentum. So if you get this motor system, getting off topic here, if you get this motor system, you have to get the momentum by Furitek, because you can see it has 3 wires right here, and those would solder direct to this motor. So it's a different one, different ESC. You're working on different things, but it allows you to solder direct on here and run it. In fact, they've even got, Furitek has some of these size motors too, which I bought. But they're 5,500 kV. So might even be a little faster than the other one. I think where we're gonna want to be is the 7,500 or 9,500 kV. These are ripping fast. So, but Furitek, Mofo RC has the motor mounts for these, metal mounts, transmission mounts, plates, and then he's got the pinions to put on these that you can get. So that's just some news. I'm way behind on the comments now. Sorry. Yeah, Steve OD, man, totally missed that guy. So back to disassembling this. Yeah, I miss him. What's going on, Mouser Jam fans Europe? Queenie. 11:30. We're just getting started tearing stuff down. Yeesh. $5:30 in the morning over there. Dang. Hopefully you're just waking up and you're not staying up that late. Although I was up talking to Psycho 13 Garage till like 4 last night. So talked to Earl Moorhead on the phone till about 1:30. He's West Coast. Cleared up some things. And it was good. It was good to chat with him and go over some things that I read into that probably should have been read into the way that they were read into, but he says it's not what it was about. So we're good. And yeah, I believe why he said it was. He was just using a little bit of clickbaiting to, which makes sense. I get it. There's a game involved with YouTube, but interpretation by others may read into it differently than he meant. But knowing his intentions, I'm cool with it, and I don't even mind if it stirs up a little drama from it. So it's all good because I know his heart. I feel bad messing, dude. I'm not usually at 1 a.m. Nah, that's early. I usually don't go to sleep till 2 or 3. I should be editing a Max Snow Bash video right now, but I thought, hey, let's tear this thing apart and chat for a minute. I think an aluminum battery tray for something like these is unnecessary. And yes, I think it would create too much weight up top. There's so much that's unnecessary with these. And Jeff, check me out, man. Whoa. My keyboard, everything just kind of piled everywhere. DSM off-road. Got a little winch strap here, a little pull. I'm just getting this. Yeah, I can show this one. And I mean, so much of this stuff is just zip tied in, and I actually use the Furitek case top as like a little tray here. I just stuck down. I cut after I took the ESC out. I cut it and fit it in here so I could put electronics on it right there. you don't need a lot with these things because they're so lightweight, and in general, you know, you can get away with things not being mounted up how you would with your 1/10 scale. Hot glue, whatever you need to get the job done. I use zip ties to hold my batteries in some of them, just loose enough that you can slide them in, but it'll keep it from popping around. Like on this guy here, you can just kind of get away because they don't sell the Velcro straps for these. Anyway, independently, I guess. So I'm about to the point where we're going to rip this transmission out of here and get it ready to put the Furitek in and just drop it into the other chassis. It's pretty easy for the most part what we're doing here. Nothing to get too worried about. I can't see comments because I dropped the keyboard. Switch the screen. Yeah, the Furitek box, I cut one of them on a different truck. I've done it on a couple now. It's a pretty sturdy lid on these ESCs here to use. All right, so we just took out the screws. This whole thing just drops out of here. Pry your shocks off. Like so. I got another chassis to throw in the bin. Over here, I've got a whole bin of stuff that I use for my builds. This is just a fishing tackle box with drive shafts and parts and screws and servos, Emax servos and pull-offs and stuff, so that when I'm working, I have pretty much everything I need for my builds. So tires that I won't use, these are fresh, brand new. I'll probably use these maybe as like, you know what these would be good for? Would just be like trail markers you have to get through. I got so many of them now, maybe I'll spray paint them yellow or something and turn them into little trail markers on my little course here. Yeah, Jeff, this is quite a thing. Bull gear. I'm going to be trying that motor. I was just talking about it, and because this chassis has a cutout for it, and I can fit it in here. The problem with these other chassis is the side-mounted motors hit, and I don't want to cut these carbon fiber ones. So I have a Mofo RC already built that I'm going to take apart, put the transmission or the motor mount on, and I get that going. I also have a Gammy RC motor mount for it that's an upright one coming, and so eventually I'm going to take one of these out and we're going to test it because a top mounted just like these are, and it'll be a smaller motor, so it'll tuck in a little better, but it's higher kV, so like the one you gave me. So I'm just waiting. I have one from Southwest Monster Shop coming to test as well. I've got a lot of stuff on in the hopper. I've got a whole chassis crawler build to do, a Mofo RC one. I've got his portals that I got to do. I'm going to probably do it on the build I do of his. But yeah, lots of stuff coming. So that is the guts we're going to keep, but we're going to take off this transmission because we don't need it. We're going to be dropping this one in. The question is, which way do I want to mount it? Do I want to try and do it this way? So the first thing you got to do with this, though, before I do anything else, is I need to take the motor off and flip it, because this wire, that's a problem if you mount it this way. You want to take that motor wire and you want to have that on the top so that when it is hitting that spinning drive shaft, you're not rubbing this. It'll just hit the casing, and that's what we're going to do now so that I don't forget. And I hope I have a big enough wrench down here. I have all of my stuff over in the studio because I was working on the Max paddle tires. I do have this. This will get me. I keep this in my bag, which I have next to me here. And this has most of what I need in it. I think it's a 2. And this is just a Reefs RC multi-purpose tool. One thing I wish it had in it is that .050 wrench. I need to see if somebody makes one that I can swap in. Garrett, how's it going, man? Garrett Binder is a genius with 3D print stuff. He makes some of the coolest builds. All right, so I got Vibratite here. It doesn't look like there's any on it. So we're going to go ahead and just put a little dab on. And Vibratite, for those that don't know, is just a thread locker. So yeah, I use it. It's very gel-like, and it works great. These are coming with a 15-tooth pinion now. After the first tests I did in an SCX24, and we realized that gear ratios made this a lot slower in a SCX24 than in the Furitek truck that they're working to build. So yeah, it barely fits. It's like tops of the mount is where we're at. So I'm using the Tiny Titan chassis on this one because it fits, I think, this motor system in it best. And again, that's why we're working on Full Gear sent me home with a motor here. It's a Charisma motor. This is going to be one I'm going to be testing. And this is an 8,000 kV, so this is going to rip. And so we're going to put this into that Mofo RC. But yeah, those size motors, which again are, I'll show the 3 different sizes basically. You've got the original size is about here, 1220 size. Then the Rocket. So this is a Surpass 1220, and these are 8600 kV. This is 9500 kV Surpass Rocket in orange, and it's bigger. And it kind of hits on the chassis if you side mount it. Southwest Monster Shop's working on a top mount for it. And then this is the Godzilla, which is way bigger than the rest. And I don't know if they went with one this big because they already had this awesome transmission plate and all that. Probably because they put it in their monster truck and it's wicked fast. Just the gear reduction in the axles on the SCX24 is a little bit problematic. If you're running like the Team Associated axles, it should be pretty fast. But so we're going to drop this now in here. So you just got to remove our transmission. What's going on, GNCRC? RC Amigos in the house. 124th U4. So Furitek actually just posted, if you look at Tone Pole, his video on where did he post it on? Instagram. He made a rock bouncer, him and Gammy, that I think they're working on cooking up. So many things for these little guys coming out. I think U4 racing these would be wicked cool though, RC Amigos. And I know you've got the design prowess and skills to make it happen. All right, so no matter what, I have to mount this one way on here. But I could flip it. The question is, does it buy me anything? That doesn't seem better as far as clearance. So we're going to go to the back like I have it on the other one. So like this, toward the rear. And so this is 3 screws to drop this on. So easy. But again, it is running into metal now, so we're going to use thread lock. RC Amigos and I have some big news, and I think we're going to try to start next Tuesday, but the Tuesday live stream is changing. I'm not doing RC Conspiracies on Tuesday nights anymore. RC conspiracies will live on, but it will be when there's conspiracies to talk about and they come up, and then we'll discuss them, which is what it should be. So they don't wait for Tuesday night, and usually by the time that we do anything about them, it's already been talked about. So we do have to flip this around because it is wanting to be forward mounted, and I want it to be rear mounted. So I'm going to have to flip the transmission plate. I don't remember doing that on this one. Must have. Huh. All right. Yep, I did. Reef sells the magnetic chips. Awesome. That's what I need to get for that tool. Swap that in. So we'll have a little bit of extra work that I didn't plan to do. I'm kind of curious, though, to just leave it this way and then switch at the very end if it doesn't work out with the motor mounted forward. I'm just curious. Doesn't hurt to try. It goes. How's it going, Mike? Michael. I haven't chatted with you much, man. I miss chatting with you. We need to get our little messenger chat going again. Talking about big fifth scalers. Matt Harris, which overdrive would be better? Depends if you want torque for wheelies or speed. I was running the 14 tooth or 14% overdrive in this one, and I think it feels like a really good speed for it. On 3S, they have a 23% overdrive now, and I've never tried it, but it seems like it would be crazy. I don't know. It might work in the front because of where this sits. And we already were getting weird bottoming out before, so we're gonna give it a try because it would work better for the electronics front. And for moonwalks, get that front weight. So we're gonna just go for it, see what happens. But yeah, overdrive. But for these, we're just using overdrive for speed. That is the number one reason. It's faster. All right. So I'm not going to change out any of that other stuff. I'm going to change out the servo because these are not good. And you can get it cheap. And because of that, I don't feel like if we're doing all this, we should at least do the servo. And you get these Emax ones really cheap. A lot of shops carry them now. And so I would just recommend doing this. So while we're here, we're going to do the cheap version of doing that without actually changing any of the other links and stuff. I have them. I'll probably do it at a later point, but for the sake of keeping costs down for people that are wanting to build these a little bit more on the cheap, we're going to do it that way. Why am I doing that? I'm going to leave this on just, this stays with the servo. No need to take it off because the whole servo's coming out. But we should have this thing up and running pretty quickly. going. But these things, guys, you know, thanks, Razor. I just saw your comment. You know, there's two different ways to look at how things are in all of life, and so yeah, I choose to try to be as positive about things as possible. I know that these are expensive. It's cost me a lot to do these builds, and there's no kind of getting around that. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Companies aren't making these, and if you want to do it, there's a cost involved in doing it. Yes, Jeff, the Emax Servo. What it's actually I'm going to put in here, guys. I mean, honestly, I'm not for the cheapness of this build. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to put in a 99 micro. Reef sent these to me. I'm on the Reefs RC team again for 2022, and you know, this is all I really asked for is some of these for all the micro builds I'm doing right now. So I got a couple of these to install as part of my team stuff, and so yeah, I'm gonna throw them on. But big supporter of his stuff, and I buy it a lot. So that's why I didn't need a whole lot when he asked what I needed, because I just buy it from the local shops. All right, we're back to here. What was I doing? Oh yeah, so all we're gonna do now is we're gonna clip right here, and then over on this side we're gonna clip. Just cut right down behind the back side of it, because basically the servo is a little bigger and doesn't fit in here. And then we also have to clip here as well a little bit on the back, because it's going to sit and rest up on there. So I just kind of do a hack job like that, and then you kind of angle it in here and force the screws in. Totally works. Done it on a bunch of them. Yeah, you can get the Hot Racing Emax servo mount, and that works awesome. I highly recommend it, actually. In fact, I probably have some in here in my case somewhere. But I always do those, and I always do the Hot Racing steering links. But we're not going to, for the sake of making this as cheap as we can build and just show that we can still run these. Servo mount for the Reefs is the same as the Emax. The Emax servo mount is just pretty much the one to get. Or do exactly what I did here, and the Reefs will fit the same way. In fact, the Reefs fits easier because it has two screw mounts. Instead of having one in the middle, it has two, a top and bottom, and so the whole thing is just kind of level, and it just sits a little higher in here instead of being at an angle like this one's going to be. So the Reef servos, I think Jeff would know. Jeff is from a local hobby shop here in town that he owns, and he also owns Traction Compound company. But I think the Reef servos are like 60 bucks. The last one I bought was, I think, 60 bucks. These Emax ones are about 12 to 15. I don't think they're as strong or as good, but they're way better than stock. So that's what we're going with for this. This is our bit of a budget build. Our other one has the nicer stuff in it. This is our budget build truck. I'm going to go ahead and just put this white plastic that comes with these servos horn on. You see a lot of these white plastic horns all over the place these days, because for a while it wasn't easy to get a and you should turn this on and center it. I'm going to do it later because I have to get this screw through here, and then once it's on I can do it, and I've got everything wired up. It's easy enough to just take it back off and center, but you do need to center your servo horn when you do this eventually, and you always cut off the last little nub on here. The last hole just gets cut off. You go into the middle hole, and if you got something around it, you sand it is nice. I'm just gonna not. And then we'll just screw, because this goes in from the back side. I know the jokes, guys. I know them. They're coming. A lot of this stuff is getting the jokes. Just going to come in from the back here. And it threads into it. Yeah, this is the one time I do kind of wish I had my drill bit, is going to be for this. Do I have a drill bit in here? I might cheat one. I'm trying to do most of this not using the drill. I have 2 of those drill bits. It's a question as to whether or not I stuck one in this case. I don't see it. Darn it. All right, well, we're going to keep working on this. Where did I set it here? All right, so what's going on? Hey, Matt Harris, cold in Kansas. Bull gear still in the house? RC Amigos, that's why I just trimmed out the mount. Yeah, it works really good with them. I use basically the servo mount from the Reach is about the same as this. You're only going to be having so much torque against it. It doesn't flex that bad, even when you metal out the rest of it, especially because you're deleting the servo saver. So having plastic ain't bad. If something's going to strip, let it be the servo horn. How's it going, Joe? All right, that got it. So we're just going to go ahead and just push this on, and we'll put a screw in it just to make sure that we don't see, that could actually go in the first hole, and it could go on the outside of this one. And go the other way in. That would be easy enough to do, but we're not going to, because I'm going to change some of this out later. But what you could do is you could pop this off, because it's just a ball cup, and flip it over and punch it in, so you screw in from the front side of it. But the Emax servo, because the angle of it and that, it'll be all right. It doesn't sit as nice as the metal ones do, which still is downward, but on these ones it sits out further. But whatever, we're gonna go with it, roll with the punches. And these usually have a tiny screwdriver Phillips, so I always have a little Phillips around to put these in. And I'm not going to thread lock it, because I have to take it back off when I center it later. Here you go. All right, so I think we're going to start building the other chassis now. We've still got to take these drive shafts off of here and install them on the other transmission, and then we should be able to start assembling things. It's easy to see, Kevin. It's just a webcam up on my computer, so that's good. I was going to use my iPhone, but I'm using my iPhone to record this live, so I can do a build video. Hopefully, maybe it'll be too much work from me not paying attention to the build video side of things. All right, these only line up one way. They're notched, so just line it up and screw it back together. And then we'll start building the chassis, which is not too bad to build if I recall. And very soon it seems like we're going to have a monster truck. How long have we been going? About 40 minutes? Me stopping to show off stuff for people that missed it earlier. These are some micro or mini crush cars I'm going to be selling. And I have a mold that I made them from. And actually, what somebody could do if they wanted is just buy one of these and then make a plaster of Paris version of it that is heavier. And so when you hit it, it won't move. So that is an option for people if they wanted to just make several out of the mold. I wouldn't care. Or out of the Lexan, as long as they're not selling them to other people. That's cool. Buying that and then making a bunch of resin ones to sell to other people would not be cool. What else do we got? What I plan to actually do is probably just take these and fill them with like spray foam, and that way they'll have a little bit more rigidity to them and hold together a little better after I paint them. Because the plaster stuff, when you do hit them, will start breaking up. So yeah. Top speed is unknown. I have not speed tested it. I have not really had it in a place where I feel safe to keep it at full throttle long enough to speed test it yet. Because it's pretty quick on 3S. Not as quick as their Furitek one was, though. But at some point it gets unwieldy, and you also start to break more stuff the faster and faster it goes. So take that into consideration. This is perfect for what I wanted to do. Very easily doing backflips with it, and jumping and cool stuff. So I was pleased with it on 3S. I'll just say that. It was right at the low end of the speed that I'd want it to be. I wouldn't want probably it to be too much faster, because it just gets out of control. And with these AMT wheels, they're not the best. So for as far as having control and all that, you don't want to probably go too much more anyway. All right, so we need to now put this aside. We've got it built back to what we want. Drive shafts are on. We're just going to have to put our links back in when we get to that point. The drive shafts, line them up. And we will have to change the shocks. Or we could do the stock shocks and make it an even cheaper build to show people. I think I'm going to do that. Because honestly, as much as I love the look of this one, I don't know. It'd be pretty short with the stock shocks on. We'll see. It might. The one thing about this is there's so much movement and with these that you don't get pop off of the jumps. It soaks it all up. And so I found that with like my ECB chassis and other ones running the stock shocks, it hits and seems to kind of jump more. Like it bottoms out on that spring, and it gets more pop. So we'll see if we can make the stock ones work, because I actually haven't tried that yet with this chassis. This chassis is beautiful. I will say that it's built really well. Kevin Gibbs, can I do 1/10 scale crush cars? I would have to make one. Hey, Southwest Monster Shop sticker. This is going on my little. Got stickers on this for my 1/24 scale stuff. We'll do it right now. And I'll look at comments really quick. I could maybe barely get it done because that it is at the very end of the size for doing 1/10 scale. So I don't know that I could. All right. Gibbs. I need another raw 500 for the DB8, RC Amigo says. That's my favorite servo. Dirk, you need to message me too. I got that stuff in the mail, the sticker thing. But for some reason it said that it might need to be signed for. So I don't know if you're going to be there. It looked like it's going to arrive Friday. Just let me know. I miss a lot. Jeffrey says, I like the Reach 99 servo in my Gravedigger. Yeah, I have it in my crawler that I just had out here. And we were running it yesterday, and it is unbelievable. This truck, you guys, I just want to stop and talk about this truck for a second. I'm going to do a video on it. I already did, asking if it's my best. But I want to kind of go into it versus the other Scythe chassis. But I also want to talk about kind of misconceptions I think that we have about some of the things with these, like oil-filled shocks and all of that. Because I would rather have non-oil filled shocks and have the long length of them to drop out like that and have the flex that this one has that I don't get with any of the oil filled ones right now on the market. And so I would rather just either remove the springs altogether and just let it drag, or like this one, I have the softest ones on it. And so it sits down pretty good. Now it's deceiving because it looks taller than it is, but it's really, everything's tucked low. The body sits high, so it looks like a regular truck. But when this thing is out there, it performs, man. I'll tell you what, it's a wicked good truck. Wicked good. New comments. Like the Losi shirt? Thank you. Ordered it from Horizon Hobby. Any other battery options for 3S besides Mofo? I'm not sure. Chris F, thanks about the slow-mo fire team video. I have to find a car though, Kevin, to make the crush car out of. So the nice thing about the one here is that I did have a toy car to start with. That's really hard because the light just off this reflects so bad. And I hammered it and I put tape on it and crinkled tape on it and busted out doors and a whole bunch of stuff in order to get it to, one, not be somebody else's design anymore, and make it like my own thing. It's changed enough now that it is not somebody else's product. This is my product. I created from something else. And so I made my mold, and you can actually, if you look at it very closely, you can actually see, because there's like a cloth tape, you can see the tape lines in it. Those did not transfer over to here, thankfully, but I'm also going to go in and now I'm going to sand out some of the lines of tape where you can see it. And I'm also probably going to put in a few more creases and dents across spots, because I made a couple of these molds and I don't want them to be the exact same. So basically plaster of Paris into two of the, I made about 5 of these, 6 of these, sent a couple of them to Kevin Talbot for something he's working on. And then I used the other ones to make these so it'll have a mold, because this one, the tape started coming off, and that's why you see the wheels on the sides. Instead of, these ones had tape wrapped even on the bottom side of the car to kind of flatten it off so it wouldn't suck the plastic underneath too far like it did on this, where it actually sucked in and got thin and cracked. But yeah, anyway, and those, because they're in this and they have differing things from the mold, even when I poured it, one of them had more, so one sits a little higher and a little more crooked, so they're all a little bit different, which is cool. But yeah, they're, again, a good size for these to crush. But yeah, Jeff Brown says talk about shocks next time we're in. Yeah, I love how this thing's set up. I have oil-filled ones, and the way that this one just sits, and when I'm driving, it just grabs onto things So I think it also helps to have these really weighted wheels, but yeah, a little cheating with the brass wheels. Low weight. All right. Oil field's nice, but there's just not a whole lot of weight in these cars with the carbon fiber and that. I just don't find that much need for it. I put a little dab of some sticky grease in there to slow it down a little, but that's all I do. All right. So we're going to build this thing now, and it'll be easy. Very, very well designed. First things I'll do is, what do I want to start with? All right, we'll start with our top piece because we can get a couple screws in to hold the two sides together. This has metal inside of it, so we will want to use, and then 3D printed cage, but very nice print job. Very much like a Shapeways or something. It's very, very good quality. So we will want to use thread lock is what I'm trying to say. So there's enough that we're going to need that I'll put a little dab onto this that I can use over and over. I know what Jeff does with his is he cuts his shock springs too, so it sits lower even, and then he doesn't totally remove springs. He cuts or finds smaller ones, and he uses them stiff though that way because it sits low and it's stiff at that point. I've seen your cheater truck too, Jeff. He found some other springs for it that were short, so it does sit low and ride low, which is good. And then it still has length in it when you need it to. Where is that other wrench? Here we go. I believe I'm saying it right. We might need to do both of these. Might need 2 wrenches because it's just spinning. Let's see if I can't. I don't want to tighten it all the way down anyway because the back one needs a little attention because that's what we're going to put our trussing to. So we need it to be able to spread a little still before we tighten it down all the way. Do you do any drag cars, Vince? Yes, I have. I sold my Team Associated ones. I have a Losi one new in the box. Got it right before he moved and have then not been able to run it here. But I saw that there some people were doing races here. I haven't, after we moved, seen any more activity on it, but yeah, I'll be curious to maybe get back into it. I have a Slash one that I'd custom built, running the Kahuna wheels on it. I got some of the first Art Reef's Kahuna wheels when he was first announcing those, and so I'm running those on it. And then yeah, so I have 2 drag cars there. So we have to put this on before we tighten those down too much so that we actually, it would have slid up and gone on. I'm an idiot. Whatever. I could tighten it down. So Jeff wants to talk about shocks next time. I'm in. Should put one of those motors in a typical S124 crawler. That would be tough. Because of the size. Yeah, so here at this point you could flip this up, put this on, drop it down. That works. But we got to get our battery trays in and some other stuff too before we get this chassis too buttoned up. And I also made a mistake because I need these sides on. Somebody's probably commenting, you need to put the side on. The 3D cage. And they would be right to have said that. You didn't say that. Shame on you for not helping me out. All right, I'm going to jump back in the comments here. Off topic, so I'm pretty far back. I'm about 6 minutes back. I'll try to play catch up here, and I'll go through the comments. Hey, Tony, off topic. Just wondering if you will be putting up a review of your Traxxas Max V2 with the J Concepts Aggressor wheels. I got the Renegade wheels, is what I bought. So that's what I'll be doing. I will probably not be running them in the snow. So, yeah, probably not gonna run them yet. Maybe I will. I don't know. If I put it on the Max, I guess I will. If I put it on the LMT, I don't really want with my Trio axles to get it all tore up, rusted up inside and all that in the axles. So, but with the Max, that's a different story. And if I like them, I'll have to order them for my LMT as well. Alex Zach, is this real life? Yes. Alex, man, where were you? You built that track and you didn't show up for the comp last night. I did terrible, by the way. Lost to a kid, probably a couple kids. A couple people got zeros. I was sitting at 12, and then I just, instead of taking a point and winching the last gate, I wanted to see if I could gun it through. Did not work out. I slammed the gate, 10 more points. So I would have probably ended with a 13 if I didn't monster truck it out. Sometimes you just got a monster truck. All right, so now we're going to mount the back here. Everything's looking so cool, right? So you can see what that little side panel adds on here. Just gives that dimension that just sets this one apart. I love it. I like the other chassis a lot. I drive them a lot. I've driven them actually more than my Tiny Titan. Because at the slow speed with the motors and the shock issue I was talking about, I felt like the other ones jumped better. So, plus then I had it taken apart testing some stuff. So I was running my other ones. Granddaughter likes to crush cheap aluminum pans. That works awesome as crush cars. We do that as well. Somebody had an idea to take one of these molds that I have and wrap it with aluminum foil. They want me to try and vacuum form it. But the way the vacuum forming works wouldn't really work with that because you have to have droop in the material. And so unless I just somehow cut the foil right and then drooped it the exact amount pre the vacuum forming, it would just tear because of the object sticking up. And when you pull the foil over with force, it would just want to tear. But I like the idea of pushing it over the crush car to mold it. All right, keeping on with the comments. Process of making my WPL brushless. That's cool. Dad's RC workbench. Very cool. Mark Johnson, would you still vacuum form bodies for these like a grave digger? I can't do that legally. So yeah, can't do that. There's certain ones I probably can do, but I'm going to have to do my own mold stuff with it and make it a little different than the original. But iconic ones like that, and I think probably J Concepts or somebody else is going to do it anyway. If I did do it, I would probably have to make a 3D print of it. I don't think I can just take the metal bodies and form them into plastic and say that it's different enough than the original. They just say I'm just making copies of it. So legally can't do that because it's not changed in any way. But the mold itself, I mean, identity theft, there's other ones. It's technically just a, you'd have to change the shape up a bit. That's what it boils down to. Close, but not exact, like the car companies do, where, I mean, even the J Concepts ones, like the Mortician or Junior Mortician and that, but it's not exact. Like there's little deviations in the actual shape itself, where it, it's very much modeled after it, but it's not an exact replica, I don't believe. So they can get around it that way. But and because it's based off of a real truck anyway, they could just say that they're making a version of that. But they take the time to mold and draw up and design the body and the shape and the sizing and all that to make their molds from. And I don't have those capabilities. My 3D printer sucks. I can't get it to work right. I can't get a good print on it. So yeah, dang it, I just did this side while we were talking, and I didn't put the 22 time. I didn't put the other side on. So yeah, I can't technically do that, but I would just encourage you that you can go get a Gravedigger body for $15, which is cheaper than I'd be able to sell it for, honestly. Like I would probably sell them for $15 plus shipping, which is about $10, so about $25. But you can go buy the RC Gravedigger from Walmart for $15, and it's a better plastic that won't break, and it's already got the stickers. You don't have to pay somebody to make you a wrap. That's the way to do it, honestly. And yeah. So I may try to do a few, but I've got to find a way to do it. That's kind of more on the up and up. The crush cars I can do, but yeah, that's about it. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I don't want to get chased after by. I already had the IRS come after me this year. I don't need Monster Jam and Feld coming after me, and I don't want to, ruffle any feathers in that world. I like that world too much to be ticking people off in it. That makes sense. All right, so battery tray is next, and it just fits in, following holes that match very much closely aligned to the stock one. So you use your stock screws, and it's pretty obvious they're small holes, and you'll see where all of them line up with each other. It's awesome. Great fit. Great fitment. You do have to give it a good push on the back side of it to get the screw to bite in. Who, me, Jeff Brown? Yeah, I was talking about you and your shocks. And I really needed to order a few monster truck chassis. Very cool. Should have Kyosho Mini Z Mad Force. Ooh, that'd be cool. Yes, FMS Atlas 6x6 springs. Yeah, Kevin Gibbs, I get it, man. The screws and stuff can be a bit tricky with these. I don't actually find, I thought it was going to be worse. I'll say that. If you have good tools, and I know, dexterity in that of hands, and, as you get older or you have issues, medically, this would be very difficult. Vision, handling with your hands, fingers, all that, any of that, it could be very problematic. Hopefully, though, that the companies are just going to come out with these as ready to run, and we won't have to do much work to them. That is what I keep trying to just say over and over, in a positive way, in a move things forward way, not a complaining way. I would love for it. In fact, I mentioned it in the live stream today, and Rich Trujillo just said that Spin Master owns basically the branding in that size or in that realm. So, and he's with Axial. What's going on, Green Frog? All right, second run zeros. Yeah, second run zero. That I thought one got it. Gotta risk it for the biscuit sometimes, right, Alex? I was up there with Alex on. When were we up there, Alex? Was that Sunday? We were working on the track a little bit. I think I came on Sunday, but he did the bulk of the heavy lifting. What's going on, Jesse? J Concepts, yes, they do have some ties, and they've already got like the Samson one. It all depends on how the licensing is worded and whether or not it can be in different sizes, or if they only got the licensing for the original size. But yeah. Hey, Dennis, what's going on? I'm way behind. Yeah, Alex, that was Sunday. Right. Did some building. All right, so next up, we're just going to run a few screws here. I haven't been paying attention. I think they're all the same size. Yeah, they're all the same size. And so these ones are actually done in a way that is nice, in that he bumped it out just far enough so that this will thread right into the carbon fiber. So awesome. So he just included one length of screws, which work for tapping into the top ones where it's narrower, and then also the length works perfectly in the sides. Very, very cool. Makes it easy. I did see your SCX24 course, man. It looks really, really wicked. Same with these bottom ones. These screws are literally just holding in this. And then in the front, we get to put our stock electronics tray. We'll mount up here just like we did with the rear. Just very good design in that way. Yeah, I need to up my course game for my SCX24 stuff here. As much as I've had to be testing stuff in my house. All right, see you, Alex. All right. So after this, we're going to be getting close to installing this whole bottom part. Then we just got to bind up electronics, and we're going to be very close to done. So we're about an hour and 10 minutes in at this point with distractions. That looks really good. So we need to put one of them up front here. There's a bar. That's going to be a brace right here. Again, thread lock it. I probably used too much of that. Bummer. It's not cheap. I'm planning to come, Jeff, tomorrow. I'll bring up that one truck. And maybe my other scythe. I got extra screws here. Wonder, does he send extra? Or did I miss something? Oh, there's another bar. Where did I miss that bar? One goes up top here. That's my guess. Probably put one right up there above the shocks. Or, yeah. Yep. Bam. So that's the last brace will go right here. Yeah, I've been seeing you using the construction vehicles and all that, Jesse. That's cool. I guess weather permitting, but I got a pretty decent truck as long as the roads aren't all backed up. Man, 96 was jacked up today. Everyone was having to get off and come up through Coopersville and get back on. So it was really busy at our area out here when I went out to take some due library books back. All right, so this is looking good. Gives you a bunch of these little nuts as well for doing the shocks. So, what part do we want to do next? I guess we got to put this in. I should have done that before I put in those posts. Shoulda. Because that. Gotta take a couple more screws off though. Should have been for the upper shocks. I think in my last one I cut the body post parts off. But on this one I was kind of thinking about maybe leaving them. Aaron says it's snowing pretty good there in Ohio. Yeah, see, I should have installed this before I tighten all that up. There we go. So I feel like he made this to hide in here. Just can't get it to. Come in from the bottom. Try and twist it. Low C trail checkers. I remember those. Well, I'm going to just back out these two screws. I think it's going to be less work. I think I'll make it easier on me. Don't even have to take them all the way out, just loosen them enough that the chassis will spread. And I feel like these screws are supposed to tuck in here still and still work, but maybe I'm wrong. think they do, but you actually got to screw it through the chassis. That's wild. That's some detail right there. You recommend any good servo for the DBXLE 2.0? Well, I know the Reef's big ones would be awesome in there. But what I've used in VidScale before Reef came out with one, and so I use their stuff, but I also have other servos as well. My favorite servo out of any servo is the Raw 500, but I use it in crawlers now, bashers, whatever. But for the big scale, Spectrum has these short profile ones, low profile. I use them in my monster truck. Got it for my SCX6. The price isn't bad on them. They're like for a big servo like this. The price isn't bad. It's definitely expensive. They're like $250, $70, which is quite a bit cheaper than a lot of the competition, and they're very, very high torque. They have a high speed one and a high torque one. So depending on what you want. But they're usually out of stock because they are a good price. I'd love to see Exo Cage make one of these. He does some really good builds. I think we need to stay as high as we can with this thing. So see, it looks like it could swing down and be installed at an angle. But I think because of the motor, we're going to keep this level and try the motor up front. Have I ever used any JX? Oh, well, there went a screw. I have a JX servo right here, 46 kg. Yep, I got that when I first got my, drop that right in there. I got it when I first got my Ecto, and I wasn't planning to put a lot of money into it. And I still haven't put that much into it. But that's when I got it. Because I was at Crawler RC Space in Grand Rapids, and then doing a comp there. And it was my first time using the truck, and the stock servo was just not enough for the type of courses they lay out there. Very technical. And so that was inexpensive at the time when I was trying to keep that a just kind of cheap truck. You know, some of these, it's hard to tell people something's great and they should get it, and then you realize, oh, well, the reason mine is great is because I have $600 extra into it after the startup cost. So I was trying to keep it at the beginning more stock, with that Spectrum 2-in-1 being the only change in it. But now it's got dual reef servos. It's got the Raw 500 Operation 11 Charlie version in it, and then it's got next to that the 422 servo winch. So yeah. I feel like I should have taken those out. I can cut it off. But it was all right, you know, because the cost was so low for the 46 kg coreless motor. It wasn't bad. It's not as good as my Raw 500, but it wasn't bad. The DV Pro is discontinued. Wow. It may just be something where they're going to do an electronics refresh. I don't know. Maybe they'll have new liveries. But speaking to and some of all the negativity around the fire team and how they wish they'd have done a whole lot of new things and different things. The one nice thing about the ARMA stuff is they keep reusing a lot of the same parts. You know, it's a positive and negative for people. So the positive is he can always get parts for it. Now, you know, the question mark will be with the DB Pro, if it is discontinued and getting parts. You know, it was around for 2 years, and then I guess maybe that's our shelf life for it. But hopefully there'll still be other parts that come out that'll fit in it. All right, that is the main part of what we're doing. Yes, I need to cut these off. Why didn't I cut those off? Dang it. I'm going to kick myself because I'm going to have to try and get in there and cut them off. Because I think they're just going to get in the way. That's not cutting it. That is not cutting it. Go with these Mofo RC ones. I cut it. All right, so we're just cutting off the shock. Not the shock. Yeah, it is, I guess, the shock mount. And it's the body post mount. I just felt like it was going to get in my way of mounting shocks in here, so taking them off. All right, so here we go. Let's see what happens when we put the motor in this direction. We're going to run into issues or not. This should just slide in. And there's a couple of notches that'll lock in. Missed it. And we'll see if our motor will go forward or if we got to do it the other way. That one locked. That one hit. Oh, that felt like it knocked in. All right, so we'll start screwing this in just to hold it. And then we're going to see what that front looks like. Yeah, the DB Pro was a fun car. I haven't driven mine since we moved here. I need to get it out. Snow makes things difficult, especially in the quantities that we've been getting it. It's too thick to drive through. All right, so that should be enough to hold it for now. All right, what do we get when we line this back in? I'm going to just try and put the front together because that's our main potential problem. All this is new, guys. I don't know that anybody's done this yet. So we're trying things. If they have, they probably just did it today. These motors just started shipping. So it's all about experimentation. We just see what happens. I'm having a whole lot of fun on the build side of stuff these days. Not necessarily brand new builds where I have to build all the shocks and everything, but this kind of stuff where I'm just kind of moving things around. I'm enjoying it a lot. Thanks, Matt Harris. It says great video on the Furitek 110. I ran that at the comp. It did pretty good after I did the adjustments to it. It's a lot smoother than on Sunday when I ran it. I still, because it's different than my throttle control on the other, I wasn't trusting it yet. Oh, guys, I think it's going to be perfect. And what hits on this one is actually the servo, but I bet the shocks bottom out before then, or the upper link. But I bet the shocks don't even let it get there. Okay, cool. Cool. I think we're going to be good. Front mounting the motor. Because this was barely getting, with these shocks, it's barely getting past level. You can't see the links. That sucks. Just barely on my one that's built already. Just getting it past there. And that's what this is going to do. Just past there, and that hits. I think we'll be all right. We'll see. Cool. Now I need to see if I can use the stock shocks, though. I don't know that I can. I don't think they're going to be long enough. If you go off these bottom. I just feel like they're too short. Let's see. Let's just try it. Can't hurt to try. So we're going to need, I use these. These are like for, I would say for my Cricut and pulling stickers and stuff out, the weeding it. But I use it for holding these really tiny screws, or nuts, sorry, not the screws. So we're going to thread lock it. And where do we want to be? We want to be a little back angle. Now we want to be pretty straight. We don't have a whole lot of room to mess with. And I use it just to get a bite on it, and then I'll come in with a little bit bigger needle nose pliers. Or I guess scissors or something. I don't know if I have needle nose here. Hey, I took them over to the studio. All right, am I way behind again? No? All right, no comments. Cool. Hey, chance I rip the DBXLE again soon. There's a good chance of that. Snow again is the problem. Same with the Outcast 8S. I'm probably gonna take that in the snow. I'm gonna get some of those. Power Hobby has some big tires for the X-Max that'll work with the Outcast 8S, I believe. Let's see. How does that work? There's one. See if we can keep this a cheap build or not. Or is it going to have to be more expensive? There it goes. No, that was not going to work because it's already at compression to where it's hitting the motor. So we're going to have to do long shocks. Not a big deal. The world is still all right. And we may just find that we have to turn the motor, which would make this a longer build. It's all right. And eventually I'm going to do the dual shocks, I think, on here, which makes it even more expensive, but for now we won't. Where are the shocks? Here. This is what we're going to use. Hot Racing aluminum threaded Tele Shocks, SCX24. And my cat is wanting to be let in. Cold. One of our cats is allowed outside. The other one is not. Gandalf is not allowed outside. He comes in such a mess with that long hair. He tries to get out, but nope. It comes with dual mount shock mounts here to install. And they mount onto here. But I'll go ahead and install this so it's ready for the dual shocks. Nah, I'll wait. All right, so one of the things I actually like to do is make sure that these are on tight. They are. They're nice and soft. I need to remove this. That's a bummer. I just got that on there. Using those tweezer things. All right. I always like to do it when I can with the bigger side out so it won't pull out the shock. Try to match my other one, which is here. I like how my other one handles, so why not? Do all this so I can work here. Take care, Monster Jam. Heading out. Awesome. Hopefully this will be done by tomorrow. Kind of my goal is to finish it up. Thank you guys for tagging along. You know what? I'm going to put a little thread lock on the tip of these and just go in and put it onto the screw. I forgot. Are these 2mm or 1.5mm screws? I don't know. They are super tiny. They are the same as whatever comes. I think they're whatever they sell with the SCX24. Hot Racing has screw kits. I don't know what they advertise it as. They're small. It's a 0.050 inch head on it. So it's a standard tool. 1.4. Yeah, it's a weird size. I think you're right, Dad's RC workbench. Yeah, see, that lets it drop further away, and it will compress and it will hit. But I'd rather, I think, it stop on that than on the drive shaft and it's still pretty decent compression. It's close to what we had before anyway, so I'm going to call that good. You may not want to call it good, but for this motor, I'm going to call it good. We're going to try it front mounted, and we'll see how it does compared to my other one when that's rear mounted. They're tough to work with. The little nuts are the worst things for the shocks. And that's where doing 4 shocks around sucks. Got to hold more of these little nuts in there. But having this tool is way easier to manage than the other thing. Needle nose pliers. A little bit more nimble. So I'm doing the middle hole here. Oh, and that stupid thing that I cut out is in the way because this brake thing was in. I need to cut that back more because I cannot get that nut in. Break it off here. Make sure I don't cut the any of the wires. There we go. Now we'll be able to get it in there. See you, Sean. And yeah, this is tricky. There's a lot going on here to work around. Oh, that one went flying. Shoot. Good thing there's extras. I think there's extras. Oh, maybe not if I have to do the bottom on his mounts. You have to do them on the... I'm going to have to find those. Because when I have to do the bottom shock mount, it's going to go through as well. Dang it. I could be in trouble then. So tedious. And I'm cross-threading it. Dang it. Yeah, magnifying glasses would be nice. All right. Got it. Sheesh. These are going to be so fun to race. When we have 2 of these that are matched, except the other one does have the, dang it, has the overdrive gears. Overdrive gears are not cheap, so I don't plan to try to put them in here if I can avoid it. Although, I think they're better quality, so they might even be worth doing just because they'll withstand the power. I don't know if these stock worm gears are going to like this brushless power. There it goes. All right. So front is not done because this came off because I didn't follow my directions and put it on the fat side. There's 2 ways that these fit on, and they have a little rubber O-ring that holds them on. And if you turn it one way, it's less likely to come off like this just did. So I got to find the O-ring. because one side stops against it. So if I can spin it, it won't allow that to come off, because that O-ring comes off way too easy. So just pay attention as you're doing it that you have them the right way, or you'll be pissed later. Because one way it won't come off, the other way it will. I have big old man hands and I'm somehow doing this. Super tedious. All right, front ones are good. Probably need a little oil on them. This one's kind of binding up a bit. And usually just putting a little grease on them, a little oil, helps that out. So, but you can see the whole thing moving as it hits the transmission there. I think once we put the rest of the screws in, that won't be an issue. So we'll go ahead and get the drive shafts in the rear going. And try to do these upper links to hold the drive shaft in place. I saw Michael McKenzie with his actually drilled new holes in the chassis and has his upper links mounted higher, so it's more scale looking. Looks awesome. Plus, there's the sponsor plates, and he's got the stickers for his already. I got sponsor plates, but I need to get stickers. How's it going, Tank? Blacksmith RC. Had your shirt. I almost put your shirt on today, but I didn't think I was going to do a video, so I didn't put it on. I was saving it for, had it on in a couple live streams now, and I think even in a couple of the other videos I've done. RC technician shirt. Might have been the Kyosho video. The new charger. That's the next thing I got to do is the servo on that. Maybe the servo I just took out I can put into that. All right. Don't want that drive shaft falling out. That's a pain in the butt. That's my least favorite part of these is when you're getting all this work and you're dealing with these drive shafts in here. Crawlers, monster trucks, whatever, the drive shafts are a pain in the butt in these micros. Thanks, Lyle. There we go. There. So now these shocks have to come off, put the other shocks on, put wheels and tires on. We'll fire it up. About an hour and a half in to do it so far. Not too bad. What are you guys working on tonight? Anybody working on a project? I know Tank's been keeping himself real busy. He's always working it. I'm just going to do these rear ones in because of the, I could change it, but we're not going to. And same forward middle. I like my shocks to have some angle to them. It'll do a little less than I have. No, it looks pretty good. So when I do duals, I need it to be there. All right, a little bit of this. Did I do a budget build before on what? This is one of the more budget versions of this. That's going to be brushless and speedy. So I'm not doing all the upgraded axles and all that. That's another $100 if you want to do upgraded axles. And there went another one. Dang it. Maybe these aren't as good as needle nose. Maybe these send it flying. Maybe they are the problem. Yeah, let's go needle nose. See what happens. My small needle nose are better, but they're in the studio. Can't believe my phone still has recording room. All right. Kevin's working on something. What's he saying? Put on JK 2-door frame this morning. So far, I haven't had to cut but one area of the body, so trans would fit. Cool. One of the cool things about the big trucks like the SCX6, I know a lot of people don't like how big they are, but one of the nice things is how big they are. It makes it, I think, easy to work on. Brent C. pissed around with the Scythe and Mofo FlexBlade XR is awesome. I have flex blades that I haven't installed yet, and I really, really want to. The only worry for me is when you're going uphill or side hill when they unload a little bit. You can get into some trouble. It's my only worry with it, and haven't done it yet. I just need to do it and see how much they do unload. But yeah. I like the flex. Are you also running these Tele Shocks with flex blades, or are you just doing flex blades? Where's the Vibrotite? Here it is. I know, they got to be coming out with bodies. I would think. How could they not? Well, I know it is troublesome to make them vacuum for me. You have to have bigger machines, but I hope they are. I'd love to see that class take off. They're super fun to run. Double barrels? Yeah, okay. Super slinky. Just, it's got to have so much flex. I was thinking about them. I got some of the aluminum ones. I was thinking about trying them on that aluminum scythe. All right, so there we go. Most definitely need some grease or oil. They are really binding. What do I have over here? I don't really have much. I think it'll be all right with the tires on. All right, so what we got to figure out is if we're going to run this, I need to put the brake plug back in for having brakes in reverse and all that stuff. Jeff Brown, hey, do you want some? Oops. Wow, yeah, this is a mini MT build. And we're right at that point now where we start wiring it all up, which is awesome. So yeah, so this motor now, the wire comes right up top here. Can you plug in? Servo also just comes straight up top. Really long. Do my little wind up trick. Get the little spring action going here. And then pull it tight. I got that. Go on steering. Probably should have waited to put this bar in. Or not put this bar in. All right. Goes. It went in, it's fine. There. Got the... So a lot of this stuff with a body is going to be problematic. We'll have to work on some cable management stuff because of the height of all this. And the size of this case. You'd maybe try taking it out of the plastic case and mounting it straight down. I don't know. Because we still have to put the Furitek board in, which is here. All right. Let's see here. These Pro boards are nice. Because they can run 3S, which is why now it's really nice, because you need that 3S power. All right, so we got our Bluetooth and stuff already installed. This is the system. Really short, really short receiver wire. Wow. Usually you have to trim off this edge on it. Maybe not with this one though. For the sake of ease, we're just going to take this bar out. Got ahead of myself. Didn't realize. Probably you could take this off and spin it, the ESC, so that the cables come out the other way. Slide the battery back a little. Just cut the nub off the back of the battery tray so it'll sit back further. It's an option. All right, so here we go. Plugging it in. we're just going to try and fire it up. Channel 2 is going to be our power channel for throttle, and that's how this works. I think on the new ones there's not a channel 2, and I think that's why these Furitek ESCs don't work on the version 2. So we're going to just get some double-sided tape, which I know I have around here. Give me 1 second. I just used it yesterday. Where did I put it? I just had it. I just had to put those electronics into my other truck. Thought I had everything I needed for this build out. Here's the 3S battery. In fact, I had 2 of them out here this week. That's what's crazy. Maybe I threw it in my bag. I'm not sure. Just all I need is some double-sided tape right now. Oh well, I guess I'll zip tie it for now, just to test it. I guess it doesn't need to be all the way done. I'll do that at whatever. I actually have another one of these chassis to build. I bought 2 of them when they pre-ordered back before Christmas. All right. So we need the battery. We need our radio now. And we will power it up. And we'll put tires on it. Here's the radio it comes with. So the other way of doing this would be to not buy an SCX24. If you're trying to save money, maybe, and just buy the parts that you need, because you don't need a transmission. Basically need axles. Depends if you're going to use the electronics or not. If you are going to use all this stuff, then it's just cheaper to buy one, because axles alone is like $60. Then you still need to buy the chassis probably to get the motor mount, unless you're going to buy a metal motor mount. And then if you're going to upgrade everything, then it doesn't make sense. If you're going to buy metal links, metal axles, new worm gears, all that, it's best to just buy the parts individually. But for something like this, if you're wanting to use the stock radio and axles and all that stuff, you probably are all right just buying like we did here, and that makes it an easy drop in. All right, so we're gonna turn this on just to be safe. We're gonna plug in a battery. We're just gonna start with a 2S one for this initial startup. here. On switch on it. I don't even have the motor plugged in yet, but I will. I'll plug it in. Goes here. Bluetooth module's in so we can get on our phone and make adjustments. But we just want it wired up for now. That's the main thing. All right. Servo is not too far off. You can probably just tune that in with. Yeah, it looks pretty straight. All right. We're not moving. I wonder because, oh, you know what? You know why, I think. Probably because I tighten these down on the axles. Probably too tight and binding, which is one of the problems you can run into when you over tighten your wheels. Let's see if that does it. No. Nothing. All right, let's see what we got going on here. That's not fun. Low battery too. Where's my cable? All right, so what do you guys think is my issue? Is the pinion too tight? Is something else going on? Yeah, Brett, the wires are so long. See a tank? I'm way behind on the comments. Did I hook up the motor? I did hook up the motor. I can hear it. Let's see if we can upgrade this. Because the type is not showing. It's brushless. Temperature, but we should be able to choose. Yeah, we're going to update. We should be able to choose the Godzilla. So I'm going to update the firmware on it. Could be the throttle on here too, the endpoints and all that. It's on high. Channel 3. We'll see. We'll let it update. Because I know that there's a setting, and it doesn't have to be that way for the motor, but there is a motor. Brent says that for sure. Updated. I heard it do the jingle. So now we'll wait for it. Just yeah, so now it's giving me the option for Komodo, or I'm going to say Godzilla Inrunner. Right here, Godzilla Inrunner. Settings. Throttle. I'm going to calibrate the radio. Set to 0, hit OK. Max speed, OK. Full brake, OK. Save it, yes. Okay. So now I have to see, because the motor is now the opposite of what it was before, instead of being, where is it? We're going to change it to counterclockwise and see. I can feel it wanting to. It started to spin there. Let me just see. Do I have binding anywhere else? And it might just be that might unplug it for a second here. I don't know that that battery, for one, is charged. Let's start with that, and then 2, I'm going to try this 3S battery and see what happens. A little bit more juice through it, see if it'll power through whatever binding issue I'm having, or if we blow something up. So actually, I'm going to switch that to on as well, which it wasn't before. Yeah, it's binding. So we're going to turn off. I don't think I have a good gear mesh. So I need, is this going to be long enough? Try and loosen these and get it. I'm going to try that and see. That looks loose there. Oh, when things don't work right. Hope it's just a binding issue. Oh, yeah. Now we're cooking. There we go. Slide this battery in. So now we'll work on getting the tires and stuff on, so we can see a little bit more of the wheel speed. I don't have tires here, but I've used them all. I can take them off of another truck, though, because I took one of the trucks apart. Hold on. this one is missing a bunch already. Because I need to redo all the links there. I don't have the right ones on here of the deadbolts. So I'm just going to steal them off of here. So I have, these are the Southwest wide version. I'm curious how wide it's going to make it. So let's just do these, and then we'll put those tires on. So we'll just strip these off of here. Just push in through here. Super easy. Good thing I didn't glue them, I guess. Ooh, that's tight. That's what you want. Pretty good. So how wide is this going to offset off of here? Take all these off of here. Your rocket motor is being delivered. Cool. Commercial break, yes. Oh, other cat's down here. All right. Nice. So something interesting is on the axles for the Furitek axles that I have here, these Southwest Monster Shop wheels do not fit on those axles because it's a bigger axle internal piece, and so it needs a bigger nut, and that hole in here is just the size of the nut to get in there. But the ECB tire or wheels do work with it. You can get that bigger nut on them. So something to know. So if you're wanting to run non-worm gear axles from Axial, if you're running, I think the Team Associated or the Element RC one, I guess, I think even those uses a bigger axle. I think about it. Anyway, just something to note. It's not this tiny size. So this is going to be a wider offset. See how we like it. Looks actually pretty good. I'd done the narrow offset on the last one, but I actually kind of like, we'll see when we get two on, that wide stance, what it looks like. But this is going on 2 hours now, and we got a mini monster truck. Thank you, Fred. Mofo RC chassis here this weekend. Awesome. My Mofo RC is the next one I'm opening up to work on. I have a different motor I want to install on it that I got from Bull Gear RC. It's basically like the rocket motor. Why won't this go on? There it goes. I feel it starting to bite. I go until I feel it tighten, and then I loosen it because it just, yeah, it's not super much. wider, but it's definitely a little bit. Yeah, it's not terrible. I like it. I like the wide stance. It looked worse in the picture as far as a wider, even wider offset to me, but I dig it. It was hard to tell online when they weren't side by side like that, but it's not a whole lot more. It's just enough. Oscar, when did you order yours? I know one of my buddies just got his in the mail today too. And he'd ordered it on the pre-order. I hope they do come out with the 7,000 or 8,000 kV. I don't think the speed is terrible, but I never mind a little bit more. Or even just not having to run it on 3S, just run it on 2. Wish it had a longer receiver wire. Don't remember the first version being that short. So that's all tucked in there. What I probably, let's see, I gotta throw a zip tie through for now. All right, let's just see what we got. That stops pretty quick. That's pretty abrupt. Let's see if we can't roll that out a little bit here in the app. Voltage cutoff, we want that at 3.4. That's what I typically do. Max reverse. I do it about, and that's one of the nice things is being able to tune your reverse in, so when you're doing like moonwalks, it won't be too much. All right, so forward, reverse. So I feel like running. That's what we got. Throttle maybe. Punch, neutral brake, low speed. I'll turn that up and see what happens on the low speed. Ooh. No, we don't want low speed. Low speed off. 10%. Yeah, okay. Punch will turn up. Neutral forward. Wide, see what that is. So a little bit of chatter. I think that chatter is the, let's say normal. The grub screw from the pinion, I think it probably just hits a little bit. So you might want to move that around and see. I know it was close when I did my one that I bought and installed on the other motor. So what's neutral brake? What if we turn that up? Oh, bingo. Neutral brake, turn up to 5. It rolls out. See that? That's it. That time it didn't. That time it did. That's what you want. Neutral brake at 5. Punch, we're going to take up to 10. Throttle curve. It's pretty punchy. It's good. All right, cool. Might be a bot in the chat. Oh, yeah. Last time I did this, though, I timed somebody else out. Block user. Got him. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so 3S, I feel like it's pretty good speed. Let me just throw it down and run it somewhere here. All right. Oh, motor's actually backwards. So back to running, we wanted clockwise. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you're gonna want overdrive. It's definitely better with the overdrive on the other one. Yeah, I say overdrive the axles because I don't feel like it's quite fast enough. Not to me. I think we're going to need to put a little overdrive gears in. I think I'm going to try the 23% because it was tearing up the stock gears anyway. Those trio gears seem a little nicer out of the box. I mean, the difference between this same motor and the trio axle or the Furitek axles to the actual axles is insane. Because theirs was running 2S and it's fast. I feel like it's just not. I felt like my other truck was just where it should be, and it's running the 14%. So I think I'm going to try the 23% overdrive and see where that puts me. But I honestly think that the Surpass rocket motors, even though they're smaller, because they're such a higher KV, I'm going to guess that they're faster than this big motor. Interesting. Because this one I did not put overdrive in. What do I have? What controller is that on? It's fast, but it's not. I don't even think that's backflip fast without the. Give me 1 second, you guys. Wow. Okay, so I would say that this motor isn't fast enough. On 3S. It was a back flop. It didn't even come close. I think that the Surpass motor, the tiny one, in this on 2S running the upgraded gears is faster than this on 3S without upgraded gears. How is that even a thing? I'm pretty shocked at how slow that is. I will be emailing them about it, because that's just not gonna cut it for these SCX24s. I'll order up some of the Trio Overdrive gears and give it a test, but I feel like it hitting is going to be fine. I think that's going to not be an issue. It's hitting the stick, whatever, that's not too bad. But I think that the smaller motors being faster are going to be the way to go. I think Ernie's working on a mount, and I mean, it's the same motor in this Furitek one, and it's actually smaller gearing, I think. Yeah, it's a smaller pinion. Yeah, it's probably the 12 or 14 tooth, 12 tooth in this. So it's a 12 tooth pinion in the Furitek running on 2S, and it's faster than this. Trio had them. Give me a second here. Let me see if I can't find it. Well, I thought we tested it when they sent the one and they said how it was so fast. I just thought the motor itself was fast. I had no idea that the gear ratio was so different. I feel like I misled everybody saying that this was the system that was going to make these things awesome. And that is not awesome right there. Huh. Oh well. I'm figuring this out. Let's see. So yes, they do have them on Amazon, and it's the 13T version, and that's the 23%. And they have them for Prime now. 13T SCX24. So it's, yeah, 2 over 13T. It says actually one left in stock. So we talked about, I talked with them about doing a faster motor because I've said a lot of people aren't going to want to run 3S. So we'll have to see. And let me just I'll pull up some web stuff here. Webcam settings, a little dark. Oh, gut punch, man. So it's been a doozy of a week, huh? So what am I looking for? What am I looking for? I was gonna look up Furitek. Let's see. Well, Tom Andrews, maybe you'll be able to email them. Oh, my battery's low on my computer. Why is it so low? I'm plugged in. All right, so I'm trying to close a few things, see if I can save some power. It's crazy how much power is being used. I'm plugged in, but my battery's drained on my MacBook. Okay, so let's look at it for a second. How much more is it going to cost me? Upgraded. So the new thing is this. This is what we paid into. The best part about this is the transmission and all that being so easy to drop in. So motor, $35 more to get a faster one. Yeah, I wonder if they'll put a pause on some of them. I'm gonna reach out to them and just say that it's not it's not a fast monster truck motor in an SCX24. They're gonna have to save these 4,000 ones for their trucks. But I ordered some of the 23%. We'll see if we can't get it fast. But that's $40 to do that. At that point, you might as well just order a new motor for $35 and get the faster 7,000 when they do it. Man, that's a bummer. It was definitely faster in my one that I was just ripping, and I busted the. I was saying I almost wouldn't want more speed because I busted the axle, but this is 14%, so maybe that's what it needs, is that little bit more. But that's $40 more to get that if you don't already have it. Interesting. Put the tires on backwards too. Yay me. Oh wait, no, I'm holding it the wrong way. So these are my two, and this one was fast and jumping and doing cool stuff with the 14% overdrive. This is not overdriven. Stock. Maybe, the other thing too, sometimes when you over tighten the wheels, it binds it. Let's try that. Because I've been tweaking that one to get the speeds. And I can't remember. I did, because that one's on a good radio. I wonder if I pushed the radio too. Why isn't it working? Pinion is 15 tooth, which I told them they had to do because I got the one. It was too slow with the 12 tooth in it, which is what was in the Furitek one, the monster truck I have. Furitek monster truck is 12 tooth and it's fast. Why is this not bound anymore? LiPo cutoff. Flash in. Oh, there's another battery. That made noises. I think we're getting LiPo cutoff on that one. Maybe that was part of my speed problem. Let me check. I actually didn't think I was going to finish this tonight, so I wasn't quite prepared. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Can't hide anything when you do it live, that's for sure. But I don't mind doing it live. I don't mind showing what happens. It's the only way we grow. And make things better. All right, let's see. That's the right startup. Let's see. Let's see what that did. All right. Oh, now we're back flipping. Okay. We're doing better. Okay. That was a backflip. Oh, yeah. Okay. Whew. I feel a little better. Whew. I feel better. Faster. Definitely faster than what I was just doing. It had a good pop, actually, too, on the backflip. So I don't know how much faster the 14% one is, because that felt pretty good. I still have the 23% coming. I just ordered them. So we'll do some speed stuff with it. I've got those speedometers. We'll see how fast it goes without it. I'll try it with the 14%, and we'll try it with the 23%, see what kind of speed change we get. 3S is going to be a must, I think. Although, I mean, I could just put a 2S in and see what it does. I just feel bad that you guys can't see. How's my phone doing? It's getting charged. I could maybe log in on my phone. It's StreamYard, so I could. Let me just do my own little test with the 2S and see if it's even worth doing. I don't think the 3S batteries were that expensive. Yeah, get some vidder, it didn't happen. I think I'll work on that. Let me see that. Oh yeah, no. 2S is like what the other one was. Maybe a little faster even, but it's not what we want. So let me put a 3S in here and we'll fire this phone up. It's kind of trashed over there, but whatever. It's whatever time it is in the morning. Nobody cares. All right, so let's see what it does. I'm going to log in. here. And StreamYard. I still think that they should do a 7,000 kV we can run on 2S. But this on 3S felt pretty all right for the stock axle gears. I have to mute myself here. There's me twice. You can't hear me because I have the wrong one on. All right. Cool. We'll just go right to the phone. Plug this one in. I had the wrong battery in. That's the problem. Thank you guys. I'm muted. There's the chimes. Okay. Get that over there. Let's go into my messy place. Hi, Cat. The cat always comes whenever this is out. So what's all this stuff? Pipes. All right. Darts. Let's see if I can't spin this around. There we go. There it is. All right. This way you can see a little bit of speed. Backflip. Get a little closer shot of that. There's a decent pop around on it. Not even coming at with a hole.
No real wheelies, but I think part of the wheelie thing is the shocks are so soft that I have on here that it soaks up all the momentum, which was one of the things I was saying about liking the other ones and the pop that those stock shocks had. That's a good little pop off the jump, though. Stock radio. Oh, you guys didn't see that. I just moonwalked it. Crap. It's a good one. So it's doing reverse wheelies fine. There's a little. There's one. Trying to get that moonwalk I had was amazing. And whatever. You'd have to just believe me. Saved it. That was awesome. All right, what are you guys saying? Oh, cat. Yeah, he's one of the cutest cats I've ever seen. I think he's adorable. Gandalf, the gray. Hey, buddy. I think I broke the other one, the axle. I better chill out, not bind it up. Oh, wheels off too. Battery's getting low, I can tell. All right. That was fun. Did good. Here's my mess. Mess of a table after all that.
All right. Check out of that. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely wanting to. The tires aren't glued. That doesn't help. So they're slipping. There's enough bite that they slip. And somebody told me that the second they glued their tires, they started doing wheelies with their car. So I think that's part of it, because every once in a while it would get it enough to wheelie. I think there's enough torque that it would. But these shocks are pretty soft, especially the rear. I mean, and there's a lot of compression, a lot of spot to go before it'll want to wheelie up. So you may or may not want these, or do the stiffer springs maybe, or doing the double shocks might help. So this one will go double shocks, probably double the soft in order to, I think you'll stiffen it up enough. But yeah, cool. Got some wheelies going. Didn't break one of these axles, so that's good. Just had the tire come off. So that was no overdrive. That was just 3S. If you overdrive it, you get even more. And I've got 23% overdrive coming. And I think it'll get nasty at that because 14 was already a bit faster. So that was not bad though for stock ones, I didn't feel. But 3S is the must in a fresh battery. So I wish I had a lipo checker here to see what my voltages were. But these have not been charged up since I did the run last time. And so they probably just had a little bit left in the tank. But it's not warm. The motor is ice cold. It's room temp. There's no warmth. So there's a little warmth. So you could go forever like that and not worry about heat being an issue. So yeah. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts? Tony, you out there? Yeah, no audio. I messed that up for a bit there. But I think a castle would work, whoever was asking. But yeah. Anyway, I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad that there was more speed than I thought initially. Yeah, I mean, especially in a spot like I'm running here, that's about as much room as I've got anywhere I go in the house. And so this amount of speed is great, especially when you get two of them out there and you're racing them. It's probably just about where I want it to be, and I can still freestyle it, backflip it. I probably won't break stuff too easily. It's probably right at that edge. So, but again, if they come out with that other KV, you could run it on 2S. Or I guess if you did 3, it'd be really ballistic. But yeah, got a bot. Boom. But yeah, anyway, Aaron, thanks. Dirk, do they do very good in the snow? No, the snow here would be buried. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to work on putting in the last screws that I'm realizing are supposed to be in here and are not, and making sure that everything is buttoned up. And getting it ready for those new worm gears that are coming now. I just ordered a set. So hopefully they have them in stock. Sometimes the stock isn't right. Wow, that screw is bent. How'd that happen? Thanks, Peter. You guys all take care. We'll be back with more content in the morning, hopefully. I've got stuff to edit. I just need to get to it. Got some more snow runs. I'll have the micro video about this little creep crawler that I've got that I think is so fantastic. And then, yeah, more coming. It's a submarine, yeah. Yep. Thank you, Spin Rush, for checking out the build. Again, I'm pretty happy with it. I think the motor forward's nice, actually. That probably helps too with some of that wanting to do those stoppies, is shifting some of that weight forward because that big 3S is back. So yeah, I don't feel like that hitting is going to be too bad either. But we'll see. All right, guys. We'll catch you later. Peace.